Sincerely, tell him sincerely, thank you for making me better.
What's up guys, I'm Malcolm. You are watching Fazi Fitness. So let's start this video with this comparison video of Hadi and Derek. Specifically a comparison of their backs. While both of them aren't hitting any shots. Just walking away from the camera, not hitting any shots. Showcasing their insane weights. And just by this video, you can tell that Derek Lunsford's back, that is just on a whole different level. So for those people who keep on saying that Derek Lunsford trains in that MI40 gym, which has incredible lighting, and that is the reason he always looks so damn impressive in all of his updates. Well, have a look at him, doing a back workout in his own new gym. And you guys can see how impressive the man is looking at the moment. And he is extremely impressive, regardless of the lighting. And that is how good Derek Lunsford really is. Although it did become a good joke, after that Battle of the Olympia video, that Derek trained with Samson and Nick Walker. So from the looks of it, Derek's real large spread, that is also going to be improved a lot, especially in comparison to what we saw at last year's Miss Olympia. And the major reason for that is the wood that he has added, especially in his lats. And the reason I'm mentioning that is because Hadi Chupan's back lat spread, that is also one of the most impressive one out there, because he opens up so damn wide, even wider than Derek. But still the pose went in Derek's favor last year, because Derek's overall pose, especially from the lower half, that is just so damn ripped and dry as a bone always. So a special thanks to Honey Bot getting these guys together for these intense workouts, and that too so close to the Olympia. And we know it isn't a powerlifting contest, but Hadi Chupan's strength, that is just absolutely nuts. The max Derek did for those leg extensions, that was 4 plates on each side, while Hadi Chupan on the other hand went up to 5 plates for a brutal drop set. Now, I have absolutely no idea why Derek sometimes gets all this hate, when he genuinely feels that training with Hadi Chupan, that does nothing but makes him an even better bodybuilder, and both these guys push each other beyond their limits. And one wholesome moment was recorded between both these guys after they work out together, when both these amazing athletes hugged each other for pushing and helping each other.
Sincerely, tell him sincerely, thank you for making me better.
مرسی که منو داره بیشتر بهتر میکنی با فشاری که تو میذاری رو من.
Now we know Hadi Chupan is a fierce competitor on the stage, and we all know Hadi is gonna take one step across that line, and Derek is definitely gonna follow him. So this is gonna be one hell of a battle in just 16 days from now, and time is just flying by. So who have you got winning, Hadi or Derek?
Thank you.
We battle on stage, but off stage we're brothers, and he likes to see the fact that you're progressing so much as a husband, a father now.
Thank you.
And
Next up is the update from Samson, who just appeared on the Real Bodybuilding podcast with Foda, explaining his decision of doing France Pro just 2 weeks prior to this year's Miss Olympia. And man, whether you like him or not, whether you like his physique or not, we must appreciate the fact that what Samson is about to do, we just do not expect that from any other top competitor. I mean, competing this close to the biggest bodybuilding show of the earth, we rarely see that happen, especially from the top guys.
Oh, we want more, we want more prize money, we want this, we want that, we want that as athletes. And now it's happening. Right. It's happening. But then guys are not getting on stage, and it's like, yo, this is what we asked for. Promoters are now chiming in and say, okay, right, we're willing to do this to improve the sport. Right. But we need the numbers, we need guys to step up.
So Samson is gonna do a total of 4 shows this year, which is kinda amazing, especially for a guy of his caliber. And this isn't a decision that was made momentarily. They started talking about this at about 6 weeks out of this show, and they decided to jump in it. I actually like the fact that Samson is giving back to the bodybuilding community, especially to the Pro League and the promoters, who all really stepped up this year by increasing the prize money specifically. And this should encourage more IFB pros, more big names, to compete more often throughout the year. On one hand, this is gonna be a 15 grand prize money for Samson, because let's be honest here, he is just gonna walk all over that competition in France. And on the other hand, this will be a trial run for him and his new team, in case they miss their mark, so that these guys have another 2 weeks to fine-tune things for this upcoming Miss Olympia.
And this one, we were so ahead with everything, and we were looking going, I've never come down this fast before. You know, it was almost like body just started responding so drastically.
So the Olympia 2024, that is gonna be Samson's last show of 2024. I mean, he has already announced that he won't be doing the post-Olympia tour this time. So with him being in such a superb shape, he is just taking advantage of that and competing before the Olympia this year. So I for one cannot wait to see his final look, which is gonna be this weekend. Next up is the physique update from Mohamed Foda, who won this year's Chicago Pro to earn his Olympia spot, and keep in mind this is gonna be his Olympia debut. So it took Foda a very long time to get to a point where he won his first pro show, so 4 years to be precise. But the thing is, this time, he was so ready to step on the biggest bodybuilding stage in the world that some people think that Foda can be top 10 this year at his Olympia debut. So Foda isn't a tall guy, but still the man is absolutely huge and massive from the front and from the sides as well. In fact, his aesthetics are more or less the same as Martin Fitzwater. He has great size, very impressive X-frame, so why isn't he being rated as high as Martin, as both of them are making their Olympia debuts this year? Well, the reason is the difference in their back shots, especially the back lat spread. So Foda has got a lot of work to do to make his back as good as his front. And that isn't gonna happen in just a few weeks. He has been a pro for quite a lot of years now. And you know, when a guy at that level has a lagging body part, it always has something to do with the genetics. So Foda did get this feedback to try and come in more shredded at this year's Miss Olympia compared to what we saw at Tampa Pro, and maybe fix a couple of his poses like the abs and thigh. And I think he's gonna do very well if he does that. So here is another guy who 100% believes that he will be a top 5 Olympian in the future, possibly as soon as 2025. And I think there is no exaggeration in claiming that, because that is how good this guy is, and with an improved back, he will be right up there. So how do you guys rate that shoulder to waist ratio on Akeem Williams? Isn't that one of the best in the game at the moment, especially in the men's open bodybuilding? So this is him at 16 days out of this year's Olympia, looking very dry and very shredded, I have to say. So the Olympia is gonna be Akeem's fourth show of the year, so pretty sure this is the first time he's working with Chris Aceto, and so far all of his looks that he presented throughout this year, they were far better than 2023 when he did the Arnold, or far better than his last Olympia, which was back in 2022. So Akeem has that type of physique that needs to peak perfectly in order to impress the judges. And the thing is, he needs to peak for the prejudging, unlike the Arnold, where the man looked really off at the prejudging, and we all thought that he just messed things up again. But he came back so much better, and he was altogether a different bodybuilder at the finals. So Akeem is 40 years old, and this is the time where majority of these bodybuilders, they start to decline, because this is the time the quad sleeve starts to melt, and it just ruins the overall V-taper and X-frame. But so far, Akeem has been holding on to all that leg size pretty damn well. So we really want to see him beat his 2020 Olympia look in 16 days time, and just let the chips fall where they may. Next up, we have a 2.5 weeks out physique update from Ramon Dino. So his coach, Chris Aceto, said that Ramon is kinda reminiscent of Kevin Levrone, a smaller version of course. So Levrone was known for having the greatest delts in bodybuilding and very full triceps, and Ramon too has those kind of features. So one of the most interesting comparisons that I saw was his own off-season face versus how he's currently looking. So Ramon must have suffered quite damn hard to get to this level of body fat. And I really wonder, how much weight does he still need to lose to make the classic physique weight cutoff? Because the thing is, there is no more fat to lose. And all that's gonna go now, from here onwards, that is gonna be pure muscle and also fullness. So Ramon's look at last year's Miss Olympia, that was extremely impressive. One of the best classic physique to ever step on any bodybuilding stage. And this has been a longer and a more brutal prep than ever before. So he was good enough to place second at this year's Arnold, even after doing only 6 weeks of prep. And he lost that show just by 1 point. So you can only imagine how he will look after doing a 22 weeks prep. So hit the thumbs up button if you liked the video, and smash the subscribe button if you wanna come back for more. Thanks for watching.